It's such an honor to be back here with you to share a second video. And I want to thank all of you because I had a response that I honestly didn't expect. And grateful to those of you who have been and who facilitated this journey for me. And even though this is a real challenge for me, and some people don't probably understand that, and I hope to clarify a little bit of that in this clip, but this is really a healing process for me. And as being a part of this woman's evolution, that really is my desire, is to inspire the world to be the best that they can be, to realize the gift that they are to the world. And one of the things that I want to share, and I hope to just get personal and candid in this, because I don't think anybody wants to get on here and be preached to. And I just want to share my life and what I've learned, and hopefully you can take some gold nuggets from it for your own life. And one of the reasons that this particular task that I'm doing with these video clips is so important to me is because I had been told by a few people that in my life that I was not to, nobody would want to look at me. And I allowed a few people's comments really shift how I felt about myself. When I was 4 years old, I was burned in a house fire, and I had third-degree burns on my hands, my neck, my face, part of my legs, upper legs, and most of the other scars on my body are from all of the years of plastic and reconstructive surgery up until the age of 20. And that experience in and of itself was really intense and tough. A lot of pain, a lot of anger, a lot of bitterness, not understanding a lot about my life growing up, not understanding why I was going through what I was going through. And I even feel a little emotional now just talking about it, because it's been a really, really hard journey for me. Thank you for your patience. But what I want to say about that is I had allowed so much outside of myself to influence what my inside had been telling me for years. One of the things that I had always dreamed of doing was being on camera and inspiring others through speaking, through motivational speaking, and I didn't know what you called it at the time. I just loved telling and talking to people about how wonderful they were, and if they could just look at how beautiful they were, that they would really start to see magic happen. But yet, at the time, even for myself, I couldn't see the magic in my own life. Any time I was put in front of a crowd or given the chance to do something like that, I would find a way to sabotage myself without fail. And as I've started to wake up on this journey, I've started to realize what it has been that has kept me in this box. And what it has been is that I have ignored and almost denied my own flaws. It was like a part of myself that I didn't want anybody to see. I wanted them just to see the good parts, but I didn't want them to see that when I looked in the mirror by myself, I thought I saw a monster. I would pick at and criticize every little scar on my face, every little scar on the back of my hands. As a matter of fact, I remember how hard it was for me to hold my husband's hand when we were dating, because I was afraid he was going to judge my hands, because what I've always said, I have 80-year-old hands. And my husband lovingly has told me then he would never be a stranger to my hands, whether I was young or old, because they would always be the same. So luckily for me, I ended up marrying a treasure in my life. But I would look at parts of myself and be incredibly critical about them. And what that did for me and what that did to me is I ended up becoming very critical and judgmental, very self-righteous, very unaccepting of other people. As a matter of fact, I was downright rude at times to people because I couldn't accept their flaws, and not realizing it at the time, it was because I couldn't even accept myself. And so I could go on about this, and I hope that, in future clips, I definitely will go into more detail about it and what I've learned from it. But as I'm waking up, I'm realizing what a gift this has truly been. And I'll close with just a little experience I had sitting up at the burn unit here in Salt Lake City, talking with one of the social workers up there, and I was telling her about my whole life, how I looked in the mirror and I just felt like wherever I went, I stood out like a sore thumb. Like I always kind of felt like the elephant in the room. Like, I don't know why, just always felt awkward. And as I was sitting there talking to her, a voice came in my head that said, "You were meant to stand out, and this was how I was going to get you to do that." And I had never in my life had an experience that profound. And that was a moment about 3 years ago in time that had changed and started to change my perception. So my message to you today is to look for the gift in you. And look at the things about yourself that you maybe you don't like so much about you. And start to wonder and question, what is this really about? And I can promise you that you'll find a gift and a blessing and a wonderful miracle that you can bring to the world. Thank you for listening.